What's up, everybody? It's Blakester52. Thank you for joining me on part 2 of my top 50 PS4 games of all time. I hope you enjoy my top 25. Beyond all the glitches, bugs, and pop-in textures that absolutely plagued this game at launch, was actually a pretty good game, believe it or not. An exciting story that takes place in Paris and has one of the most beautifully realized worlds in any Assassin's Creed to this date. The co-op also made for some of the most fun that I've ever had with me and my buddy, synchronizing assassinations to be as stealthy as possible, made for some of the best moments in Assassin's Creed. If you're looking for one of the funniest games out there, then look no further than South Park: The Fractured But Whole. You know this game is going to be hilarious right from the start when you're selecting the difficulty, and it's actually based off the color of your skin. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, they really got balls to do some of the comedy that's in this game. The improved combat system and RPG mechanics from the first game is huge, and it will keep you engaged throughout the 40 to 50 hour story. And the origin of your superhero powers from the very start is one of the most hardcore origins out there.
And what you saw when you opened that door changed your life forever and led you to fighting crime. You were too late, because when you opened that door you saw your dad fuck your mom. Wow, that's a pretty heavy backstory. You fight crime because you never forgot the night you weren't in time. And you saw your own father, the man you trusted, fuck your mom. It's like a ripple in time you can't ever change, isn't it?
Shoot them. Throw their bodies in the river.
No need. We'll throw ourselves out.
After them!
Through the window! Come on! We need to get across the river!
As a standalone title, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy focuses on the pair of Chloe and Nadine roaming the lush environment of India in search for treasure. If you like any other Uncharted title before this, chances are you'll probably have a blast playing this one as well. Literally anything that's attached to the name Naughty Dog, you know you're getting pure quality. And if they wanted to continue any other Uncharted story like this with side characters, I'd totally be down for it.
In here! Quick!
What the hell was that back there?
Messy but effective.
You were going to sell me out, weren't you?
It's called improvisation.
I think he'd already made up his mind.
The short 2 to 3 hour story of What Remains of Edith Finch takes you on an emotionally driven story through the Finch household, learning about Edith's family tree and how each of her loved ones died, showing you their final moments. This is a touching narrative that will make you want to hug your loved ones just a little bit tighter next time.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
I believe Tales from the Borderlands is one of the best Telltale games out there, right behind The Wolf Among Us. It's a fun story about Vault Hunters Reese and Fiona, and if you think that Handsome Jack's story is over, just play this game and see for yourself. There are so many genuinely funny moments that make this an absolute blast to play, and the song choice is spot on. If I made a list of the best free games that ever came out on PlayStation Plus, Rocket League would be number 1, without question. Who would have guessed playing a game about rocket-powered cars playing soccer would be so much fun? Probably the most addictive game on the list, Rocket League is easy to pick up, but hard to master. The fast-paced matches are so much fun and has a surprising amount of strategy involved when playing offense and defense. Firewatch is where you play as a middle-aged man who took a job as a forest fire watcher to escape his life, where his wife was starting to forget him through her early onset dementia. As the job starts, so does the game. Simple tasks start out from Delilah, the woman in the other Firewatch tower super far away. Your interactions with her only take place through radio. The voice acting in this game is some of the best I've seen ever in these smaller titles. What makes things really interesting is as the story progresses, so does your relationship with Delilah, and you start to realize she's not the only one in the forest. The thought of someone watching you where you thought you were isolated is truly eerie and a tense feeling.
Think so?
Henry, there's something someone should have told you about this area.
What is it?
It's outside.
Come on.
The whole thing. And people come and go as they please. It's madness.
Yeah, okay. I get it.
Originally coming out on the PlayStation 3, Sleeping Dogs became one of my all-time favorite games. I have replayed this game probably over 5 to 6 times. You play as an undercover cop, Wei Shin, who is infiltrating the Chinese gang. The Triads are a ruthless group, making this game really violent. Luckily, you play as a total badass who can get just as violent. The combat is brutal, and the story is enthralling from start to finish. And the detail in this world of Hong Kong is on point. Sleeping Dogs still has one of the most dickish villains
Remember
ever.
Mimi Shen? Back when you first started getting girls with Big Smiley?
Oh, Mimi. Oh, yeah. First girl ever sucked my cock. So what?
Razor, brother.
This is how it happened. This is how the Batman died.
The final chapter of the Arkham series comes to a satisfying close with Batman Arkham Knight. Bruce Wayne dons the cowl one final time to save the city of Gotham. This is easily one of the best looking games to date. This is the biggest open world game in any of the Arkham games yet. And while the combat, stealth, and all the side quests have never been better before, one of my only drawbacks is the over-reliance on the take mechanics in this game. Other than that, great game.
Get what I need from them. Got that? Great.
I have never had more of a try-hard moment than when me and a buddy were trying to take on a mission where we were well undermanned and under-equipped, just to get some sweet, sweet loot. It took us probably 5 to 6 hours to beat one boss, but it was oh so worth it when we finally beat him. The enjoyment of building up your character and getting a crew together to go into the Dark Zone, the game's PvP mode, and to take on other teams or become allies was always exciting. Once again, this game is best played with friends, otherwise it can get dull pretty quick. Hideo Kojima left Konami with one last masterpiece. Metal Gear Solid 5 made me feel like the world's greatest operator. This is tactical espionage at its finest. The way you can attack missions from any angle, day or night, giving you so much player choice. Then, after a couple hours of playing, you see how the world reacts to your actions. Do you always go for headshots? Guess what? Now they're wearing helmets. Do you always go in stealth under the cover of darkness? Guess what? Now they have NVGs. Metal Gear Solid 5's crazy story keeps you interested. However, it is an unfinished game that doesn't really have closure. The last Call of Duty I bought at full price was Black Ops 2. Now, finally, I can say that Call of Duty is back, and it feels great. At one point in time, Call of Duty was the best at first-person shooter stories and the absolute kings of multiplayer. But when they started going futuristic, it lost its relatability factor. I just can't buy into that. But finally, we're back to boots on the ground. Realistic stories in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. A reinvention of the original where you get to fight alongside Captain Price in an action-filled campaign. Not only that, but the multiplayer in Warzone is also really fun to play with friends. When Call of Duty was falling by the wayside, Battlefield 4 took over as my new favorite first-person shooter. EA's Frostbite engine made this game look so awesome. The way it looks when you see explosions, buildings tumble down, or even bullets whiz by your face. The immersiveness of this game was ahead of its time, and the large-scale multiplayer matches were some of the best times I've ever had in any multiplayer game.
Oh god! Oh god! Oh shit! Get the fuck out of our way! Tombstone coming through! Come on, speed up!
Assassin's Creed is typically hit or miss. Luckily, I found Assassin's Creed Origins to be a home run. The same developers of Black Flag created this one. The creation of the Assassin Brotherhood started with Bayek, an Egyptian Medjay who was hunting down the people who killed his son. It's their first attempt at an RPG, and it really wasn't that bad. A massive world filled with quests that were actually different from one another, and really cool tombs to raid. This is a dense game, and I had a good time playing it. I also feel like this will be the last good Assassin's Creed game. I continue to lose faith in Ubisoft, but I sure do hope I'm proven wrong. After waiting for what seems like an eternity, Square Enix finally released Kingdom Hearts 3. Tetsuya Nomura closes the saga with a bang, with a beautifully written story and an epic boss fight with Xehanort. Now, if you've never played any of the Kingdom Hearts games before, this probably isn't the game to start out with. The game does a decent job of catching you up on the convoluted story. However, I believe this was really made for the fans. The Disney worlds have never been made to look any better, and while the combat is fairly easy, it is pretty amazing to look at. And I swear, if I have to hear Donald or Goofy tell me that they found ingredients, I'm gonna lose my mind.
We'll find some ingredients around here.
You son of a... I'm pretty new to the whole JRPG scene. I haven't really given them too many chances in the past, but I'm glad I did for Persona 5. It took me 140 hours to finish this story, and throughout the journey, I got to experience high school all over again, with brand new friends who have their own backstories that you get to explore by spending time and building your relationships. All of this time spent will help you when you and your friends enter the metaverse to take on the evil people of Tokyo, Japan, and steal their hearts, and ultimately make them confess to their sins. I enjoy this game so much. I will probably be getting the updated Persona 5 Royal, where they have updated so much throughout that game. I had such a good time and so much fun being a Phantom Thief.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your moment. Please don't make me ruin all the great work your plastic surgeons have been doing.
One of the fastest selling video games of all time. I don't know what else I can say about this game that you probably haven't already heard of before. GTA 5 is a game of ultimate freedom. If you think you can do something, chances are you probably can. The story of Michael, Franklin, and Trevor is so much fun with all kinds of set pieces and heist missions. And GTA Online is a beast of its own. Rockstar has really done an amazing job at keeping it updated and fun. Even after 7 years, GTA is one of the most played games on the market, period.
Look out! They running on you! Hang on, Nathan!
Holy shit!
The final chapter of the Nathan Drake saga comes to a satisfying close with Uncharted 4. I wish I could tell you which of the Uncharted games from the series is my favorite, but it's honestly a three-way tie between 2, 3, and 4. They are all that good, bringing something new and unique. But what I do know is that the gunplay in Uncharted 4 has never been better. It's fluid and fast-paced, while also knowing when to slow down, and watch Nate connect with his family members like never before, adding another layer to the characters that you've gotten to know over the past decade.
How's the Malaysia job going, Nate? Seems like you're a hair off course.
Who would have guessed that the developers of Killzone would have created a third-person open-world light RPG about a girl in a post-apocalyptic world with robot dinosaurs? I wouldn't have. But if you're looking for one of the most unique stories that's out there today, and some of the best bow and arrow combat, then Horizon Zero Dawn is for you. In this game you play as Aloy, an outcast at birth, who trains to earn her way back into the tribe and figure out why the world is the way it is. The harsh environment and diverse enemy types keeps you on your toes for most of the story. And I am really looking forward to the sequel.
Okay, Mr. Milton, where are you? There you are, you bastard.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is Rockstar at its absolute best. This is one of the most visually stunning games out there. I sometimes can't believe this is running on the PS4. You play as Arthur Morgan, an outlaw whose loyalty is to his gang. Dutch's gang, I should say. You start to see Dutch's descent into madness. All the while, Arthur's doing what he can with the time that he has left in this world to become a decent man. The story is an emotional journey, just like the first Red Dead. And while the multiplayer is an unrefined pile of garbage, you don't come to RDR2 for the multiplayer. You come for an amazing story. And this is once again Rockstar at its absolute best.
Get down here now, you inbred trash!
The Last of Us is a masterpiece of a game, and may go down as one of the greatest of all time. The masters of storytelling over at Naughty Dog have created their best game ever. This remastered version of the PS3 original not only still holds up very well, but it enhances your experience that you have with Joel and Ellie. As you either fight off the infected, or other people trying to kill you, the ultimate task is to survive. This game is visceral and brutal. The story is sad, but touching, with very little glimmers of happiness in the post-apocalyptic world. Naughty Dog has truly set the bar for themselves.
Holy shit. Are we gonna help him?
Put your seatbelt on, Ellie.
Well, what about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
Alone and sick on my feet and my stand. Oh Lord, if you hear me, please take my hand.
There is no other game that I've had more fun with in all of my PlayStation 4 lifecycle than Insomniac Games' Spider-Man. Easily the best Spider-Man game ever made, the fluid web slinging through the detailed New York City is spectacular. The combat with all the spider gadgets available make all scenarios unique in how you want to approach it. The story of Peter Parker balancing his normal day-to-day relationships while also handling his responsibility as your friendly neighborhood superhero has never been better. I believe that PlayStation 4's Spider-Man is the best superhero game ever made, right next to Batman Arkham City.
Do your thing.
Yes.
He's the day, Willie. Heads up.
of here, Spider-Man. We got this.
Because Max wants everybody to see
I'm
how
so
hip she is.
sick of people trying to control me.
Don't ever touch me again, freak! It totally makes sense. You hella saved my life.
I think it's awesome you set a tongue record on video. You're going to be sorry someday.
So I put both Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm in one spot. It's kind of cheating, but it's my list, so whatever. I think they connect so much that I can't play one without the other. This is such a special game to me because it has done the one thing that no other game ever has, and I didn't think it ever would. By the end of the game, it left me in tears. No game has ever invoked that kind of emotion out of me before. It was definitely a special moment that the story of Max and Chloe and their friendship, it seems so genuine that it made me think about my own friendship back home. While Life is Strange focuses on Max and her ability to reverse time so that she can save her town, Before the Storm fleshes out more of Chloe's character and how truly tragic her life is. All of this culminates in the farewell episode that takes you back to the moment where Max has to leave her best friend in the moment she needed her more than ever. Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm is a beautiful game, one that I will never forget.
Whither do they call to me? Whither do they call to me? Whither do they call to me?
As I said in my last video, 2018 was full of bangers, and none better than Santa Monica's God of War. A reinvention of the series brings Kratos to Midgard of Norse mythology. And unlike previous titles of the bloodthirsty Kratos on a quest for revenge, this game humanizes him. He is a father, and he is taking his son to the highest mountain to spread his mother's ashes, all while trying to teach him how to survive. He does a poor job at the beginning, but as you watch and see their development over the course of the game, realizing that Kratos really would do anything for his son, he just does a poor job of expressing it. The combat is also very well done, while adding more layers and enemy types as your power and technique grows. I also thought the idea to make this game completely one-shot, not ever having the camera cut away, brings the story close and personal. God of War is a masterpiece that everyone who created this should be proud of.
I'm a god, boy. From another land far from here. When I came to these shores, I chose to live as a man. But the truth is, I was born a god. And so were you. Boy, have you nothing to say?
Let's dance.
It took me over 2 years after The Witcher 3 came out, after being hailed as one of the greatest games of all time, and a PlayStation Store 50% off deal to finally play this game. The reason why I didn't want to play it was actually because it looked so daunting of a game. I was afraid I'd be wasting my time with something overcomplicated and oversaturated with RPG mechanics. Turns out, I was just being an idiot. for letting this slip by for so dang long. I have never found myself so enamored by a game's world before. The beautiful city of Novigrad and walking along the cobblestone ground had a medieval feel to it. The ugly and disheveled swamplands of Crookback Bog, where you can find some of the ugliest beasts to slay, the farmlands of White Orchard, where the sunsets pierce through the trees, and the snow-capped mountains of the Isles of Skellige, with Viking-like settlers all around. The world is so diverse, and the quests even more. The main missions, side missions, from Witcher contracts to treasure hunts. Everything in this game has purpose. Every detail has reason behind it. There is so much lore to uncover and history behind every character. I could not recommend this game enough to someone. I finally understand what all the hype is about. And if it wasn't for the success of this game, I doubt there would even be a Netflix adaptation. I wish I could play this game all over again for the first time. A truly special game, and that is why it is my #1 favorite game on the PlayStation 4. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. I know we have about one more year of great PS4 games before the PlayStation 5 comes out, and I'll probably make an update later on with all those new games. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.